In 2024, we had Chris Brown beefing with Quavo from the Migos, Kendrick Lamar uniting the West Coast and trading diss tracks with Drake, who quit rapping back to file lawsuits instead, and on top of that, we had the biggest beef of the year, Diddy versus the United States. On January 1st, 2025, Brooklyn's own Joey Badass took some time from his acting career to put out a track which stirred up the West Coast a bit and set off a string of diss tracks we're going to be breaking down. Let's get into it. On the track The Ruler's Back, Joey starts the second verse off with the lines, "Too much West Coast dick licking, I'm hearing niggas throwing rocks, really ain't shit sticking, cause if we talking bar for bar, really it's slim pickings." That would clearly be a response to the hype that Kendrick had behind him when he was dissing Drake, and all the accolades he was getting, like his critically acclaimed album GNX that released in November 2024, and him also being picked to be the Super Bowl halftime show headliner for 2025. That line is also a reference to the Jay-Z line from the song 22 Twos from his debut album Reasonable Doubt. That line was also referenced on the Capital Steez track Talkin' Shit from the mixtape American Corruption. On January 2nd, the rapper Jason Martin, formerly known as Problem, released the song Chill Out. On the third verse, he has the lines, "Turn this bitch up, real niggas back in style. Niggas been hating on real niggas for a while. I ain't even tripping, y'all can have that little style. Them little bitty bags, man, y'all can have that little pile. Fuck on that old shit, bro, what's happening with it now?" Considering this was released the very next day after Joey released his song and video, some would say that it is a shot back at Joey for mentioning the West Coast. However, after those lines, he has the lines, "2024 till I'm gone, I'm on fire," which would imply that the song was recorded in 2024 and just happened to now be released. Also on the 2nd, California rapper Stoic Mike released the track Hoey Sad Ass, which uses the beat from The Ruler's Back and is aimed at Joey. That same day, California rapper Lit Poppy posted a song on his IG page, which was a response to Joey as well. It was then posted later on YouTube with the title Friend or Joe. He comes directly at Joe in the beginning with the lines, "Friend or foe, yo, state your biz. Ay, you want it, Joe? Fuck it, there it is. Ay, East Coast nigga gassing mid, but niggas named Badass always turn out to be good kids." This rap beef is full of name flips, which you'll see shortly. Lit Poppy also released a second song around that time as well, which was titled Double Double, which was also labeled as a Joey diss track. On January 4th, South Carolina rapper 10K Nicks released the track Checkmate using the beat from The Ruler's Back and was also a response to Joey Badass. Then on January 6th, California rapper Cliff Savage released the track Bad Wolf. On that track, he comes at Joey directly with the lines, "I am noticing niggas gon' hate on the West cause tension is rising, you niggas get pressed. Nigga got out of his body, went after Kenny like we ain't a problem. I guess I gotta know about your circle, so tell me the name of that nigga that said it's a go." The problem with Joey is he ain't got niggas around him enough that's telling him no. Also on January 6th, AMC released the song Semi Royals aimed at Joey Badass. Then on January 7th, we saw the first big song that was definitely a response, which would be by Daylyt, a battle rapper from Watts who is not only known for his punchlines, but for his antics both on stage and online. Daylyt released the song and accompanying music video HIYU, which includes various lines referencing New York and appears to have been filmed in New York as well. On the first verse, Daylyt makes a reference to Joey's friend Capital Steez with the lines, "Credit line to the max, we overstacking. Those Steez on my arm, we came for capital." Capital Steez is one of the co-founders of the group Pro Era, in which Joey was one of the first members. On the second verse, Daylyt takes a subliminal shot at Joey with the lines, "To my niggas out in Harlem, thanks for all that you've done. To them niggas over the bridge, we tell them don't be dumb." Don't Be Dumb is the title of A$AP Rocky's follow-up to his 2018 album, Testing. And Harlem is a neighborhood in Manhattan where Rocky is from. And one of the bridges in Manhattan goes to Brooklyn, that being the aptly named Brooklyn Bridge. So you can see the tie-in to Joey as he's from Brooklyn, which would be over the bridge from Rocky and other rappers in Manhattan. On the third verse, Daylyt again seems to send a shot at Joey with the lines, "You boys had years to show you the best, clear. Now it's people in your class that they consider your peers." Joey was on the XXL freshman list for 2013 alongside rappers like Ab-Soul and Schoolboy Q, who are from TDE, which Daylyt has been affiliated with. In 2011, West Coast rappers like Kendrick Lamar and YG were on it, the former also being on TDE at the time. Also in the music video at this time, the date June 2012 pops up on the screen, which is when Joey released his solo debut mixtape 1999. So basically, Daylyt is claiming that Joey essentially dropped the ball on proving himself to be one of the best rappers. Throughout the song, Daylyt makes it pretty clear that he has no issue with New York as a whole, and he's just taking aim at Joey in particular. The next day, TDE signee Ray Vaughn decided to throw his hat into the fray to defend the West Coast and release the track Crash Out Heritage. On the song, Ray uses the beat from Kendrick's song Heart Part 6 from his GNX album. He disses Joey for sneak dissing with the lines, "What's with the sneak dissing? Taking shots at us, then hide the Uzi cause the only badass the world was recognizing is Boosie? Please don't get confused of shooting the movies. We really shooting was on Soul album, so if you ask me, you look like a goofy." On Ab-Soul's 2022 album Herbert, Joey was featured on the track Moonshooter. So to Ray, Joey looks silly for being on Ab-Soul's album but dissing the West Coast, Kendrick in particular, who was a friend and former label mate of Ab-Soul. Ray then goes on to take shots at Tory Lanez as well as Maul, formerly from the Joe Budden podcast, for being supporters of Drake, then goes back to dissing Joey for the remainder of the song. He sends a shot at Joey again for being friendly with members of TDE, but still sending shots at the West Coast with the lines, "Man, fuck being buddy-buddy with niggas dissing in public but see us in private and try to act like a distant cousin." As I mentioned a minute ago, Joey was featured on the Ab-Soul album Herbert. On top of that, however, Schoolboy Q was featured on Joey's song Rockabye Baby from Joey's second album, All American Badass, released in 2017. And if you go back even further, Joey and Kendrick Lamar were both featured on the song One Train from A$AP Rocky's debut album Long Live A$AP, released in 2013. Also, if you go back just a little further, Joey Badass and Ab-Soul did the song Enter the Void together in 2012. So yeah, Joey sending shots at the West Coast comes across a certain way to Ray due to Joey's seemingly good relationship with multiple West Coast rappers, especially Soul. Also on the 7th, California rapper Mr. Green Eyes released the track Joey Badass, which of course is aimed at Joey, and he uses the second beat from Drake's Family Matters track. On January 9th, the rap duo Coyote, consisting of the brothers Ladies Love Guapo and Ricky Blanco, put out a video titled Joey Badass Response, in which one of the brothers was rapping a verse in which they took some shots at Joey for the West Coast line from The Ruler's Back. On January 10th, California rapper Prince Angelus released the track 61, which once again is a response to Joey and uses the beat from The Ruler's Back. Then on January 11th, West Coast rapper and producer and hip-hop YouTuber Curtis King released a response track titled Content, on which he uses the beat from The Ruler's Back. He starts his verse off critiquing Joey for bad marketing with the lines, "You see, it's way too many Joeys lately begging for respect, taking shots at the Western cause your marketing's a mess. Tell the truth, some of y'all only creative in that booth cause when it's time to make some content, niggas ain't got a clue, let me teach you." Basically, Joey can rap well, but he's not marketed well, so he's turning to dissing. Then he claims that Joey is jealous of the West Coast with the lines, "Guess you wasn't devastated, but hated it that we wouldn't. Don't let me find you jealous and mask it as competition. Honestly, I think you use it too loosely to say some slick shit." Devastated is the first single from Joey's second album, All American Badass, and it's one of his biggest songs as well. Curtis then seems to take a subliminal shot at the YouTube channel What's the Dirt with the lines, "It's way too many YouTubers parading like they journalists. I heard your hot take, but it's burdening me what your purpose is. I know you got hip hop on your shirt, but do you bleed it? Go playing in that dirt with the culture, you'll get deleted. That's why I'm like, thank God for the Rob Markmans, Jeremy Hex, Skies, FDs, and Justin Analyst." What's the Dirt is the YouTube channel which blew up when he made several videos covering the beef between Kendrick Lamar and Drake. During that beef, Matt, the person behind the channel, got into a bit of controversy for some comments he made online, especially with Justin Hunt, aka The Company Man, a hip-hop journalist who is well known for his work at Hip Hop DX. I used to watch his breakdown series all the time back when he was with Hip Hop DX. The shirt line is a reference to the shirts that What's the Dirt has for sale on his website, and the deleted line is about the YouTube channel named Daylyt, who has made videos talking about the controversy. Curtis then ends the song with the lines, Fun fact, you rapped on my beat. The song Tree of Life. He is I in a Western Union that you can't divide. Just say the boogeyman name and he might just reply why. Tree of Life is a song from Ab-Soul's third album, These Days, on which Joey was featured on a brief interlude in the middle of the track. Also on January 11th, YouTuber and rapper Kido Abashi released the track Nigerian Giuseppe's, which is a reference to the shoes Joey had on in the Ruler's Back video. On January 12th, New York rapper Rome Holman released the track Rule Who, aimed at Joey. He comes right out the gate questioning Joey for repping New York even though he apparently has left New York with the lines, "I heard Joey saying he the king of New York, but all y'all got paid and was leaving New York. Fully claimed but halfway breathing New York. Fam, if you don't sleep in New York, don't speak on New York." After the first verse, the beat switches up and then he continues on criticizing the state of New York rap, and then goes on to have more bars about Joey with the lines, "Did they say Ye not Chicago enough? Big Sean not Detroit soul enough? They don't say Tyler not West Coast enough. So what the fuck is up with the pigeonhole for us? Drill ain't ours, the feel ain't ours. Try to be Atlanta, the appeal ain't ours. Home of the spitters, I don't feel their bars. Nigga, I kill shit, still make songs. Joey wanna do a little call to arms, but I think Joey might need some longer arms." The next day, January 13th, Mick Jenkins released the song Wars and Rumors of Wars, on which he responded to Joey's The Ruler's Back track. You could tell by the title what this is all about. Mick takes a subliminal shot at Joey with the lines, "These niggas ain't Panthers, these niggas in white hoods like Klan movements," which is a reference to how the Black Panther Party wore black and how Joey seemed to be in a white neighborhood in his video for The Ruler's Back. On that track, Joey mentions how he moved out of the city and bought a house in the sticks, and in the video, at that point, he's standing in front of a big white house. Later on in the track, he has the line, "Placeholders out here claiming ruler, we going yard," which once again appears to be aimed at Joey in response to The Ruler's Back. A ruler is typically 1 foot while a yard is 3 feet, so Mick is claiming he's going harder than Joey, who's claiming to be the best. Throughout his verse, Mick also appears to have lines aimed in response to the Kendrick Lamar and Drake beef. For example, he has these lines which seem to be aimed at J. Cole. "Niggas hyenas, this shit is an elephant graveyard. Got him knock-kneed, nigga not me. Fuck is you talking about lost sleep? Fuck a nigga who don't rap got to tell me you niggas is lost sheep." That is a reference to how J. Cole apologized shortly after dropping the 7-minute drill track aimed at Kendrick and claimed that he was having difficulty sleeping because of putting the track out. That same day, New York rapper Chapo released the song Bruce Banner, which was yet another response to Joey and uses the beat from the Kendrick Lamar hit single Hey Now from his GNX album. On January 15th, California rapper Psy the Rapper released the track Undercover Hater, which was aimed at Joey as well. Then on January 17th, fellow Pro Era member CJ Fly jumped into the situation with his own track, High You Freestyle, on which he responds to Daylyt and Rayvon. On his first verse, he has the lines, "Y'all corny for trying to come at the apex, who I'ma take next? Toying with us, not a battery in, I'm a shotgun, I don't show guns when the battle begins, had the same 24 while they dragging me in." Apex is a reference to the song Apex by Capital Steez, and the line about the same 24 would appear to be a play on the Kendrick line from Hey Now. "We got the same 24, what you mad for?" Which is CJ essentially saying that he's joining in because they mentioned Pro Era. Then he ends the verse letting it be known that he still has love for the West Coast, but it's competition against them with the lines, "Still got love for my dogs in the west of the map. Have some respect when you address. We from the mecca of rap. Fuck what you saying, I'm winning when I'm stepping on tracks. If it's a race, y'all expect me to black, right?" He starts the second verse off with the lines, "I don't know what type of games you niggas playing. He thirsty, then we can wet him or squeeze a nozzle and then spray him. You featherweights can't compete, so why even weigh in? Tell Lil Man don't fuck with my brothers, we like the Wayans. Homie don't play that cause trust it's gonna be a scary movie." The Wayans brothers are a well-known family of actors and comedians from New York, and they're well known for making the first 2 Scary Movie films. Also, the Lil Man line is the double entendre referencing both Rayvon as well as the Wayans brothers movie Lil Man, which is another comedy. Later on in the verse, CJ makes Daylyt and CJ Fly name flips with the lines, "It's about to get dark, won't see the light of day. Tell son he need to lighten up because we've seen more brighter rays." Also on the 17th, Lit Poppy released the track First Responder, which is a reference to the fires that were going on in California at the time, and can also be seen as a reference to him being one of the first California rappers who responded to Joey. On the track, he makes mentions of Pro Era, the group Joey Badass and CJ Fly rapped in. Then, on the 20th, YouTube channel Showface News put out the song Yeah I Can't Rap, which was also aimed at Joey Badass, and it uses the beat from the Smith & Wesson song Soundboy Battle. Also on the 20th, Joey doubled down on the beef with the track Sorry Not Sorry. On the first verse, he responds to Daylyt and Ray with the lines, "Niggas with attitudes mad I'm bigging up my city, that's something I had to do or die, home of the gully where we let lead fly, 2025 on my bully, I know that men lie, women lie, but Joey don't, might delete later, I know damn sure that Joey won't. Fuck it, I want all the smoke, put my credit on the line, cause niggas can't fuck with me, we talking about it line for line. The audacity of this nigga, he must be out of his mind." The Might Delete Later line is a reference to J. Cole's mixtape Might Delete Later that was released in April 2024, which featured the track 7 Minute Drill, which was aimed at Kendrick that I mentioned a minute ago. So essentially, Joey is saying that he's not going to take back his dissing and that it is what it is. Joey then ends his verse with the lines, "Properly align this little light of mine, promise I'ma let it shine till it leave you niggas blind." That's a double entendre seemingly aimed at both Daylyt and Ray Vaughn, using both their names. Also on January 20th, Lit Poppy released a track, No Fly Zone, using the beat from High U, on which he tells people to stop talking about the West Coast, which is likely aimed at Joey. Then on January 21st, Air Wallace and Bossy Boss put out the track Blah 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 Blah, on which they send shots at Joey Badass and CJ Fly. On January 23rd, Cliff Savage returned with another track, this one titled In a Bag. He seems to take shots at Joey Badass with the lines, "Nigga dropped video like we needed a cameo, should've put the budget into the bars and carried those. Nigga shooting blank, just say a name, I bet he won't. Nigga threw a rock and hit his hand, then aimed at Cole." The Joey Badass tracks Rulers Back and Sorry Not Sorry both had videos, and on Sorry Not Sorry, Joey made a reference to J. Cole, as I just mentioned. So this track would appear to be a response to that. Then on January 26th, West Coast rapper Razkaz put out the song and video, Reaction. The title likely being a play on the fact that a lot of YouTube channels have been making reaction videos, so as a rapper, his reaction to it is to put out a song. Throughout the track, Raz doesn't really diss either side and more so just exerts his own lyrical ability. Rightfully so, as if you know Razkaz at all, then you probably know he's one of the best lyricists on the West Coast. He comments on the rap beef between Kendrick, J. Cole, and Drake while he's at it with the lines, "So let's recap. The 3 top-selling lyricists in hip-hop got in a scrap. A Mexican standoff. One man blew his own damn hand off. Fuck was that? He out the rankings. The other man sued, a sore loser, straight goober. In underground ciphers, we call that a twofer. The one who blew their hand off, of course, is J. Cole for backing out of the beef and apologizing, and the sore loser who sued is Drake, of course." Then he comments on Joey Badass with the lines, "Every ruler returning is supposed to spit cracks. Hip-hop is friendly competition. Joey did that." So it would seem Raz is acknowledging that what Joey said was good for competition and it's not a serious beef. On January 31st, California rapper Kevin Ali released the track What's a Ruler to a God. As you could tell from the title, it's a response to Joey's track The Ruler's Back. On his verse, he has the lines, "Joey claims he's the best in New York, but from the looks of it, Ice Spice is holding the torch." Ice Spice being the female rapper from the Bronx who became big for her 2022 song Munch. Later on in the track, he has the lines, "Jovan Scott, let me tell you something, you're not, which is Jay and Nas, you're never taking their spot, given all you got. It's still not enough to be at the top or even battle me. You really think you fucking would die?" Jovan Scott is Joey Badass's name, and this is something that would be commonly mentioned throughout the beef, that Joey really wants to go at Kendrick. Then on February 3rd, Daylyt responded to Joey and CJ with the track YHRR, which is a reference to the New York slang. Yer? On the first verse, he disses them for CJ getting involved with the lines, "I see through you niggas, this is no game. We don't need no gas, but get a propane. When we thinking fly, we thinking spirits. Sent your little man out there, shit is so lame." The propane line is a double entendre for the gas and for Pro Era. And the spirits line is a reference to Spirit Airlines and CJ Fly. Then on the chorus, Daylyt flips the chorus from the 50 Cent song In the Club, referencing Joey's birthday because January 20th, when he released the Sorry Not Sorry track, was also his 30th birthday. Then he ends his second verse possibly mentioning something from Joey's beginning in the rap game with the lines, "This could be a no-fly zone, literally, but my guy cool, it's kinda cold on that side too. I'll bite you like a high chew. Hi you, I know it's been an issue with my side shooters, past beef led to some odd futures." Back in 2012 when Joey was new in the rap game, he had an interaction with Odd Future when they were on MTV, and Joey made an appearance through Skype. The host showed Odd Future the video for Joey's song Survival Tactics featuring Capital Steez, and most of the group proceeded to make jokes about Joey in the video.
Yo, it's good, man.
You ugly.
Yo, that's Joey Badass from Brooklyn.
Yo,
Where you at right
yo,
now, bro?
bro, you ugly, yo.
You ugly. You can't even see my face. No, I'm ugly.
Yo, you look like
See
Squidward
you.
House.
Everybody say that. Find a new joke. It's gonna suck my.
Yo, I love your beat though, bro.
Everybody say the same joke.
Hold on.
Weak.
Joey, where you at right now, Joey?
Yo, I'm in school.
You in school?
Yeah.
No, niggas, Wolfgang. We don't give a about no other artist. That video.
Except for Grizzly Bear. They're coming up with a new album.
Right. Yo, send me a beat with your Squidward nose ass. Send me a beat.
Yo, Earl, you seen Joey Badass's Survival Tactics video. What'd you think?
It was all right.
Hold on.
In school right now.
It was cool. You can rap.
We on with Earl Swisher. What'd y'all think of Joey's video, man?
He can rap.
I can rap.
You can rap.
You can rap.
Thanks, man.
Drake can rap. Drake.
My motherfucker.
Tyler,
He's nice.
what'd you think of the actual, I mean, you direct videos, man. What'd you think of the actual visuals that Joey put forth?
I mean, I guess it was cool for him. I wouldn't use it, but keep doing your thing and stay in school.
No doubt, man.
Hell yeah.
Then on his third verse, he makes a reference to the Ruler's backtrack with the lines, "The juggernaut of the BX, I walk through the borough like, that's your goat? Well, he next. Off with his head, nigga, let's rock. I'm cooking in Brooklyn, but who the best? I Slick Rick, the only ruler that maneuver." The Ruler's Back is a song by Slick Rick from his debut album, The Great Adventures of Slick Rick. And after leaving England, Slick Rick lived in the Bronx, and Joey Badass is from Brooklyn, hence the references to the two boroughs. Daylyt ends his verse with multiple references to Diddy with the lines, "Oh, we about to have a party party? Oh, and you was at the party? Scraping and scrambling? Oh, let me cook, the apron is madness, you scrimmage and we gon' break through your practice, shit gon' get reals. I would apologize for Big, but that's some shit that y'all mans did. They let the lie out, nothing I should be shy about. Wasn't you at the honeycomb hideout? I'm dead ass." The party is a reference to a Drink Champs interview when Diddy, Jadakiss, and Fabulous were on the show, and Diddy said that he likes when Fabulous is scraping and scrambling and wants to party with him for Fabulous' birthday. Fabulous looked clearly uncomfortable in the situation. Watch it for yourself and you'll see.
Look
Did you
back on where I became.
Did you miss me though? For real, because I'm saying it seems like a thing.
I
with
miss
this
partying
birthday
with
party,
Puff, man.
Man, but I'm talking about for your birthday.
Huh?
Why won't you party with me for your birthday, man?
Yeah, we partied for my birthday before. You came to my party.
No, but me and you ain't never really party. You know what I'm saying? I like when you like this, Daddy.
Where you put my bag?
Daddy, I like when you scrambling and scraping for shit. I like that.
Since late in 2023, Diddy has been under heavy scrutiny for his freak-offs, and with those lines, Daylyt is alluding to Joey having taken part in them also. That likely comes from the fact that Diddy featured on one of the songs on Joey's album 2000, which was released in July 2022. That same day, the rapper Willie B, aka the Ichiban Don, who was known for being a producer on TDE albums and for rapping with Daylyt, released the track The Minority Report. He raps about his name being mentioned with the lines, "Saying my name will get you defamed, nigga you lame, junkies one legit nigga. The rest is funkies, get your plaques up before you act up, game rigged like a Mack truck." He then goes on to mention it again with the lines, "This light work, niggas secret stands of me and lights work, but never sent niggas no beats, slick mentioning me that might work." Hearing this, I looked again through CJ Fly's diss track for some kind of mention, but didn't see any of Willie B or Ichiban Don. However, according to one of the reaction videos by the company man, apparently CJ Fly and Ichiban Don had something on Twitter, which prompted Ichiban to respond on this song. This would make sense as Ichiban Don's name on X is Shogun, and as I mentioned earlier, CJ Fly had a line in Haiyu Freestyle calling himself a Shogun. He also goes on in that track to make other references to Japan, which apparently would be possibly aimed at Ichiban. Throughout the rest of the track, Ichiban makes several references to Brooklyn and New York, as well as showing support for Daylyt. A few days later, on February 8th, Ray Vaughn released the track Impossible Patty, on which he responded to Joey Badass again. Impossible Patties are plant-based burgers, so in other words, the title is saying that this is fake beef, and he's telling Joey to do better. On his first verse, he disses Joey and CJ Fly for putting out some less than great diss tracks with the lines, "Feels like they dropping Georges that nobody buy," mid. Irony, all through the tracks they running out of ideas. Then on the second verse, he takes aim at them again with the lines, "Treat me like a scrappy do and with the hands I whoop feet, see? I never played tennis but I'm good on the internet rappers turned actors. Got the nerve of being indirect, I don't get it yet, just know they bad for business. Based on all of they past decisions, spent a band to make them twitch like DJ Academics." The Scrappy Doo line is a reference to the line from Haiyu Freestyle by CJ Fly, in which he compares Ray Vaughn to the cartoon character Scrappy Doo, which is Scooby-Doo's nephew. Going along with the title of the song, Ray Vaughn makes several references to cooking throughout the track as well, which is a metaphor for the rap beef between them. A few days later, on February 11th, rapper Money P released the track Steez's Shadow, which is titled as a response to Joey Badass, Daylyt, Mick Jenkins, Ray Vaughn, and CJ Fly, and it samples Drake's The Heart Part 6. Some days later, on February 18th, Joey responded with the track Pardon Me. On the chorus, Joey flips a line from Drake's Push-Up song with the line, "It's a 20v1 man army." Drake on Push-Ups questioned if it's a 20v1 as he wound up getting dissed not only by Kendrick Lamar but Metro Boomin, Rick Ross, and others. Throughout the song, he makes subliminal responses to Daylyt and Ray Vaughn for the previous tracks. For example, he starts the first verse off with plenty of bravado and defending his break from rap to be an actor with the lines, "Shoulder check 'em, then brush the dust off. Mama raised a soldier, I raised the bar. Wipe the rust off. Hear my shots ring from afar whenever I bust off. Like a 44 bulldog, popping y'all ears off. Took some years off. Thought somehow my shit would wear off. Like who the fuck lied? I'm hollering at the sky. I'm ready, God. Call the Air Force. They still waiting on my reply. So I went, you sending shots direct, you make sure he die." Joey released his debut album in 2015, then his second album in 2017, and his third album in 2022, so yeah, he's taken some breaks in his music before. He's been acting in various series, like playing Inspector Deck in Season 1 of Wu-Tang American Saga back in 2019, and in Power Book 3 Raising Kanan since 2021. In lines like those, he's making it quite clear that he isn't far removed from rapping and is ready to spar lyrically. Joey seems to respond to Mick Jenkins for his track at the end of his second verse with the lines, "Niggas bleed just like us, so get your men straight, cause I could really put you men on pause like dog feet. Tell me now, who's ready for war, bitch?" Since the title of Mick's song was Wars and Rumors of Wars, then the mention of being ready for war, this would seem to be a pretty clear response to that. A few days later, on February 21st, AZ Chike released the video for the song What 2 Times. At the end of the video, he seems to preview another track which seems to be aimed at Joey, as he starts it off with the lines, "Keep the coast out your mouth, you ain't as unique as you think in this house." Then he ends it with the line, "It's only been 7 months and niggas panties in a bunch, you gon' respect the Duckworth when I'm finished with this hunt." The unique line is a reference to Joey's character from Power, and Duckworth is Kendrick Lamar's last name, which would make this a pretty clear response. Also on the 21st, Rome Holman released another track in response to Joey. He released the track Won't Pardon You, which is a response to Joey's song Pardon Me, released 2 days prior. The song starts with a snippet from Pardon Me, cutting out right when the chorus about the 20v1 starts. Then he starts his verse off telling Joey that he's playing victim after calling out the West Coast with the lines, "This the energy you invited, the enemies you excited. You playing victim now that these niggas is jumping you. No remedy, dude is frightened." He then goes on to say that only CJ Fly has his back and makes references to not only Jay and Nas for their rap beef, but also Tupac for his acting career with the lines, You ain't confused by only one nigga took a jump with you? You ain't authentic, let me and you speak about that. Blue from nostalgia, fans won't let you sneak up out that. Took Jay's blueprint like you won't find either out that. Acting like Pac after Bishop, what's unique about that? Bishop is the character that Tupac played in Juice. Some people say that Tupac started acting differently after playing Bishop in the film, so Rome is claiming here that Joey's doing the same with his character from Power. He then goes on to reference the Odd Future MTV appearance of Joey Badass that I mentioned earlier with the lines, "Chip on your shoulder from when Tyler and them niggas clowned you. Fast forward 10 years, the city still won't crown you. Downward spiral, looking for rivals to rap against. It's a jungle, you ain't used survival tactics since." As I mentioned earlier, Survival Tactics is a song by Capital Steez and Joey Badass, so this is a double entendre for their song and the survival of the fittest mentality. He then goes on to diss Joey again for going after J. Cole with the lines, "Diamond in your chain but ain't no diamond to your name. I need you to explain how you look putting pressure on Cole." J. Cole has diamond songs while Joey has none, but this is also a double entendre as well as it takes pressure to form diamonds. He then goes on to mention that Joey didn't film a video in the city until he called him out on it on the Rule Who track. Joey didn't film The Rule Is Back in the City, but he did film Sorry Not Sorry there. Now, did Joey really film the video because Rome called him out on it? Probably not, but whether he did or not, it is a good follow-up by Rome. He goes on to end the song with the lines, "Conflicted but comfortable, niggas still got love for you, but you in over your head with niggas that's under you." Those lines are a reference to the fact that Joey's a skilled rapper and pretty well known, but he's now coming under fire from rappers that are below him in terms of notoriety. The next day, February 22nd, California rapper Kevin Ali released yet another track, this one titled Pipsqueak. To be brief, I like it, give it a listen. A few days later, on February 28th, CJ Fly released the track Cyclops in response to Daylyt and Ichiban Don. He mentions Punch, the president of TDE, with the lines, "Tell Punch to hit me, I'll swing some lines if you need a hook," infamously known to Mobb Deep, and real ones know we ain't shook. We ain't ever meet and they started beef, they gon' need a cook. He then goes on to mention TDE artist Ab-Soul with the lines, "Wanna come at me, swords get drawn, we stay on guard, I'ma lay the law down, he get a turn, he get unbarred, the box will be in his spine when I'm done breaking his lumbar, and I don't need a soul to fight my battles." Daylyt is known for working with both Punch and Ab-Soul on songs, so it seems CJ wants to bring the rest of TDE into the fray. That next month, in March, California rapper Juice released the track Venus Flytrap, on which he takes a shot at Joey Badass, CJ Fly, and Pro Era as well. Also on March 13th, Lit Poppy released the track Head Up, which was also aimed at Joey Badass. The beef died down between the main competitors for a little while before it got heated up again, and just like the beef took a break, I'd like to take a moment out to remind you to subscribe to the channel, click the link in the description to join the Discord server, and consider becoming a patron or channel member with the links in the description as well. That being said, on April 28th, Daylyt released a video for the song Backpack on his YouTube channel. The video begins with him filling his backpack with things to head out and skateboard, which he does throughout the first verse, while the first verse itself is also about skateboarding, which might be a reference to Pro Era as they have been known to be into skateboarding themselves. It's also worth noting that throughout that part of the video with him skating, he keeps falling off the skateboard. After the first verse, the video drastically changes tone and Daylyt changes personas from a skateboarder into what you might call his normal self. He skates over to a vehicle and stands beside it, now wearing a chain. He puts down the backpack and gestures as if he's taking his gun out to prepare for the shooting, albeit a lyrical one. Knowing Daylyt and his propensity for having quite some depth in his lyrics, the video would appear to be a metaphor for him not being like Joey and Pro Era. He's not a skateboarder, he's a battle rapper from Watts. That's where he's comfortable and what he goes back to. Throughout the second verse, he takes aim at Joey. He alludes to some possible situation between Diddy and Joey with the lines, "Off a battle of Ciroc or we smacked, we gon' get back to that." He then goes on to say that he doesn't really have beef with Joey and he's just entertaining the whole rap beef thing with the lines, "It's too early to end you, I'm still trying to befriend you. Notice I ain't never say a name, I was just trying to entertain your claim. Beef might be on your menu." On May 7th, Power 106 Los Angeles put out a freestyle from Just Incredible's freestyle series. This one by Ray Vaughn. On the freestyle, he raps over 3 beats. The third one being from Kendrick Lamar's song Feel. Towards the end of him rapping on the third beat, he has the lines, "Don't need an opinion from a nigga who ain't reaching the top, claiming they got hits but they ain't doing their job, ain't had a hit since like 1999, what happened to the vibes?" 1999, as I mentioned earlier, is the debut mixtape from Joey Badass, so that would appear to be a clear shot at him. A week later, on May 13th, a cypher by Red Bull was released which featured Big Sean, Ab-Soul, and Joey Badass rapping in that order. The second half of Ab-Soul's verse is directed at Joey Badass, Daylyt, and Rayvon for their rap beef. For example, he mentions the 47 tattoo on his arm, which is in memory of Capital Steez, and states that it's healthy for the sport and to keep it competitive. Joey then comes in and continues to throw shots. He begins his verse with the lines, "Look, from BK to Carson, I'm bar none, proceed with caution. I spit fire, it's arson. They don't want the war with the Martian. They sending their troops at the general, but I'm the one who absolute. They obsolete, can't compete cause I'm too elite, trying to spark a match but they simply lacking the heat." BK of course is Brooklyn, and Carson is the city that Ab-Soul is from, so Joey is claiming his dominance across the country. Joey then goes on to express that it's not an East Coast West Coast beef and he has love for the West with the lines, "First off, I could never hate the West, but since niggas coming for Joe, fuck it then, let's go. Niggas must have forgot what Dot said on Control. There's still a bunch of sensitive rappers in their pajama clothes. I guess this ain't no East versus West, I just think that I'm the best, as a matter of fact, I know." For the rest of his verse, he has multiple flips using Daylyt and Rayvon, for example with the lines, "I'm up early on the grind, I shine through the late night, I ain't gotta lose no sleep to break daylight, shouldn't give you niggas time of day, but fuck it, shine a light on them, I'm a light ray, now how can I say this all in a nice way, if you need the attention, tell Top he gotta pay." Top of course is a reference to the CEO of TDE, Anthony Tiffith, aka Top Dog, and Joey is basically saying that he's giving Rayvon attention and should be getting paid for it. Another braggadocious line about being a bigger artist than Ray. Rayvon responded to this quite rapidly, as the very next day, on May 14th, he released the track Ho Era, which of course is taking a jab at Joey's group Pro Era. On the chorus, Ray has the lines, "Hey Hoey, is you stupid or you dumb? Popping it then screaming about a 20v1. That is in response to Joey's chorus from Pardon Me about it being a 20v1. Ray calls Joey stupid for being the one to diss the West Coast and then be surprised that he's being dissed from multiple West Coast artists. On the first verse, Ray has one of the funnier lines I've heard up until this point. "Real shit, you should act more, you should rap less. Every verse asks what that BBL cost." BBL stands for Brazilian butt lift, which is a popular cosmetic surgery, and basically he's calling Joey a whack rapper. Later on in the verse, he takes aim at CJ Fly in response to the High U freestyle track with the lines, "CJ like 40 and he on drugs, clickbaiting for the honeycomb, get your own buzz." On the second verse, he makes mention of Joey's relationship with Ab-Soul with the lines, "Walk around with 9 on me, feel like I'm in grade 4, I can send him to the stars, he get paid for, but standing next to Soul ain't gonna save yours, but every verse, Hoey talking about I'm back." The line about sending him next to the stars is yet another jab at Joey for being an actor, and the standing next to Soul line is a reference to the Red Bull cypher that was released the previous day. Also on the second verse, he makes mention of Joey's girlfriend with the lines, "Stupid ass nigga, I can tell he never been in drama, who a nobody, I was writing for your baby mama." In February 2025, it was announced that Joey Badass and actress and singer Soraya were expecting their first child. So it seems Ray took a page out of Drake's book on how to conduct rap beef and used his foe's significant other as ammo in a diss track. Just as Ray did with this track, Joey came back the very next day, May 15th, with a song titled The Finals. This track, unlike Joey's others, is aimed entirely at Rayvon. The title is likely a reference to the NBA playoffs given the time of release, as well as Joey finishing off Rayvon lyrically. In one long verse, Joey dismantles Ray for his rap career so far and his position on the TDE roster. He comes out the gate going hard at Ray with the lines, "What kind of top dog is you? You more like Shih Tzu. You was cloned in the lab, dog. You artificial. You known for your label, not because you're artificial. And I ain't gotta talk about how broke you are to fix you, cause when I send shots at you, it'd be hard to miss you. Ain't gotta load a magazine just to press this issue." The line about the dog is a reference again to Top Dog Entertainment, aka TDE. Joey is once again dissing Ray for being known for signing to the label, which is known for signing artists like Kendrick Lamar and SZA among several others. Joey continues with the dog rhyme scheme and brings TDE artist Reason into the situation as well with the lines, "Trying to outclass the badass, so I gotta dismiss you. You all bark, no bite, but hit dogs gon' holler. Caught a couple strays, now it's time I put them on a collar. I let them rot while I charge them for top dollar. You're the next nigga getting dropped off the top roster, and I'ma be the reason." The dog lines are probably self-explanatory if you know what TDE stands for, and how Ray Vaughn is essentially a puppy as he's one of the newer artists to TDE, while Joey would be considered a veteran rapper by comparison, having been putting out music for over 10 years with a decent sized audience and critical acclaim. The line about Reason is a double entendre as Joey is saying he could get Ray kicked off the label, and Reason is also the name of an artist that was signed to the label but left in 2024. Joey then takes credit for helping Ray more than TDE has with the lines, "I did more for you than the whole of TDE. It's too bad, nigga, you should have been signed to me. Somebody tell Top we about to start TD East." This line would come into play a little later on, so keep this in mind. Joey then responds directly to Ray's line about Soraya with the lines, "Want me to engage? So you mentioned my fiance? Clearly I ain't scared to get in the ring." He continues on taking shots at Ray, then ends the verse directly mentioning Kendrick with the lines, "I've been a beast with these flows, nigga, you can ask Illuminati Part 2. Yeah, that was my last shot, and it's the difference between that and Ruler's Back. Let's be clear, I salute you, Kenny, but I know you well aware. You're looking for some competition? Then just know that I'll be right here." Illuminati Part 2 is the response song that Joey had after the Big Sean song Control was released, which featured the verse by Kendrick where he called out a bunch of rappers and called himself the King of New York, which prompted a lot of responses from New York rappers. Out of all the diss tracks that were released up till this point, this one is my favorite and a big step up from Joey's previous tracks. Everything just fits better for lyrical sparring, from the title to the beat with its triumphant feeling and the near entirety of the song being aimed at Ray with direct shots and ending it with calling out Kendrick again. Joey with this track positioned himself as an MC of a higher caliber than Ray and showed that he can step in the ring with Kendrick. Maybe not from a commercial aspect, but from a lyrical one. Also on May 15th, Brooklyn rapper Dime Dozen released his own response track using the beat from High U. He takes aim at Joey with the lines, "Got the West assuming he represent us. That's offensive. Your passion been an acted persona, been all scripted. You was 17 last time them 16s was hitting. Which character from your flicks is in attendance, especially when them rumors sounding flagrant and your name been attached, trying to save face and keep your reputation intact." So he's making it quite clear that he still takes issue with Joey as he calls him out for leaving rapping to act, as well as makes an allusion to him being involved with the whole Diddy situation with the line about rumors. He also released the track Big 47 on which he takes shots at Joey as well. Remember, the number 47 is a number that comes up often with the group Pro Era and is used in their branding. In response to being mentioned on The Finals, Reason responded a day later on May 16th with the track The Dead Apple, which of course is a reference to New York City, which is nicknamed the Big Apple. During the song, Reason makes it pretty clear that he's not trying to take over the battle, as he tells Ray that he's just stepping in on principle. So yeah, this would be pretty clearly Reason jumping in purely off the mention, and he might have just stayed out of it otherwise. Reason reinforces that with the lines, "The shot ain't direct enough. The fuck you mentioned me. I'm with the drama. The cipher was cold. I run it back for you and I leave your soul beside you." That's a double entendre, as leave your soul beside you can mean that Reason is going to metaphorically remove Joey's soul from his body, but also in the cipher, Ab-Soul was standing next to Joey. Later in the verse, Reason makes it clear that he's gonna respond to anyone else that mentions his name with the lines, "This for anybody trying to mention my name. I ain't tolerating. I'ma slide some. I don't care what season it is. Some of these niggas die and I'm at all of them. Don't care if I ain't got a reason. Like Top before signing me, I'ma find one." The line about Top finding him a reason? That's one of the best punchlines in this song in my opinion. Then at the end of the verse, Reason has the lines, Could say 10 other words but chose my name. Now shit can get devilish, nigga. Griselda the only niggas that was holding shit down when y'all wasn't present, my nigga. Griselda Records is a hip-hop label formed by rappers Westside Gunn, his brother Conway the Machine, and Makami. Westside and Conway are from Buffalo, New York, and they've signed several other rappers to the label that are known to be skilled. So Reason is claiming that Joey and his group have pretty much fallen off and left Griselda to hold it down for New York hip-hop. After that verse, the beat switches up and Reason starts rapping using the beat from the Ja Rule hit single, New York, featuring Fat Joe and Jadakiss, which is probably my favorite Ja Rule song. On that verse, he seems to make a pretty clear reference to rapper turned podcaster Joe Budden with the lines, "The best rapper in New York on a podcast, I'll button up this shirt and give out jaw taps." Joe Budden was born in Manhattan, New York and moved to Jersey City, New Jersey, where he started his rap career. The people that know Joe for his music would know that he is considered to be up there in terms of rapping ability despite not having the commercial success like some of his peers. Also, Joe on his podcast has spoken about the beef between Joey and Daylyt and Rayvon, so this might be Reason making a comment on Joe for his takes from the podcast on the beef. Also on May 16th, AZ Chike released the song and video Game Time. In the video, there are multiple subliminal shots at Joey. For example, in one scene, Chike is seen sitting at a table next to 3 men who all have been shot dead. That would appear to be a reference to the video from Joey's song Sorry Not Sorry, where he was sitting at a table as well. Then there's scenes where Chike is standing in front of a vehicle that's on fire, which appears to be the same one that Joey was standing next to in the video for Ruler's Back. Also on the 16th, California rapper Kai released a track, The Pre-Exhibit, on which he takes shots at Reason and King Los. On May 17th, On the Radar Radio released a freestyle by CJ Fly. On that freestyle, he has the lines, "Word to me, try to pull my card or charge a service fee. See like one worthy opponent left and that's me versus me. Show you this 50 in action and I can't wait till Curtis C." As I mentioned earlier, Curtis King is a rapper and YouTuber who put out a response track to Joey Badass back in January, so those lines by CJ Fly are in response to Curtis. Also on the 17th, Rome Holman returned with the track Eye to Eye aimed at Reason in response to the Dead Apple track. Lit Poppy came back and released yet another track titled Ho Please, also on that day, which was aimed at Joey Badass as well. Also on the 17th, Stoic Mike came back with a track again, this one titled King of Cappin, which is also aimed at Joey. Michigan rapper Brad Spliff released a track of his own titled Elden Lord Flow, which was aimed at Rayvon. Then on May 18th, Atlanta rapper K-Stac released the song Notice as a response to the beef. Throughout the track, he has bars for Reason, Rayvon, Joey Badass, and Daylyt as well. He also mentions some of the big Atlanta artists like Future, Lil Baby, Young Thug, and Gunna. He disses Joey for becoming an actor and calling out Kendrick with the lines, "Joey baitin' Dot, nigga choose a better route. Since you wanna dot, this K finna help you out. This nigga had potential, switch to acting when to top what he couldn't meet." Also on May 18th, Punch released the track Signing Executive Orders featuring Ichiban Don. There's no direct bars aimed at anyone, so this very well might just be a track that they wanted to release, but considering the trend at the time, it might include subliminal lines aimed at Joey. The next day, May 19th, AZ Chike jumped into the beef with the song What Would You Do? I've mentioned him earlier, but if you don't remember who he is the rapper that was featured on the song Peekaboo from Kendrick's GNX album released in 2024. He mentions Rayvon and downplays Joey's worthiness of a diss track with the lines, "It's the badass's bots, he can't fuck with me, he keep talking about the West, is he strictly dickly? Ray got some, I get some, he going 50-50, tag me in, time to get a nigga gone, yeah you bad to the ass, I'm just bad to the bone, gave you a little snippet, you ain't even worth a song." He then throws a shot at Joey for acting with the lines, "How you a pro from your era still ain't make a hit song, nigga stick to the script, should've stayed in your zone." He continues that angle later on in the song with the lines, "Everybody from TDE got put on. You're the only one out your group that still makes songs." Compared to TDE, Pro Era's members have not had a lot of big songs and commercial success individually or as a group. The pro era angle is not new, as Rayvon and Reason have both mentioned it in their diss tracks, but it still remains true. Later on in the verse, Chike has the lines, "Niggas posting TDE East, I can't believe, don't wanna sue or click up, nigga take a seat, boy I'm wired, know you tired, nigga take a knee, a cliff, bridge or faith, I don't give a fuck, nigga take a leap." The sue line would appear to be a shot at Drake because of the lawsuit Drake filed against Universal Music Group, and the line about taking a leap would appear to be a reference to the death of Capital Steez, who jumped off the roof of a building back in December 2012. Chike then ends the verse with perhaps the funniest lines from the track. "You this high-ranked rapper, when was your last paid show? Look at you, starting from scratch till he's screaming he back, but who the fuck asked for you?" So basically, no one asked Joey to stop acting to come back to rapping. This is another track that wasn't bad at all, but was a bit unexpected. Chike has been releasing music for some years, but recently gained notoriety nationally due to his feature on Peekaboo, so jumping into the beef gets more ears on his music, and I understand it from that perspective. Also on May 19th, the rapper Jordan King released the track Warning Shot, which is titled as a diss to Reason, Rayvon, and Daylyt. However, none of the lines on it I've heard seem to be shots aimed at them. On the 19th, Curtis King also released a response track to CJ Fly for mentioning his name on the freestyle I mentioned earlier. The song is titled Cut the Cap, Free Trial, which is a reference to the How You Freestyle track that CJ Fly released, which was apparently made using a free trial of CapCut. The artwork for the song is a picture of the Cookie Monster with a grill in his mouth, and he's holding an inhaler and rapping into a microphone, which is all a reference to CJ's freestyle. Curtis starts the verse off making it very clear that this is a direct response to CJ for the freestyle mention with the lines, "See, I was just gonna sit on the side and be a spectator, but I think I found a fly on the wall, I guess I'll rest later. Heard you on the radar subbing me like a bench player. Fly swat him, I can do that, just give me a sheet of paper." He then switches to aiming at Joey for the end of his verse with the lines, "Ain't nobody came to see Otis, now where's Joey? Claiming that he's king of New York, but he looking lonely. Sitting on a throne of New York, but it's looking phony. Nigga, just because you pick up a jacket don't mean you own it." Of course, this is a reference to Joey claiming king of New York, but according to some, he just doesn't have the resume, and considering he's been taking a break from music to focus on acting, it could come across like a random and unwarranted claim. Yet another track was released that day, this one being by Really J Wan, who is the son of Jadakiss. Early on in his verse, he has the lines, 20v1, a lot of hoes want me to pop, Juan is the one, I feel like Jeezy, I get a lot, so let's talk about hate and reasons why he don't faze me. The 20v1 line is a double entendre, as that's a reference to Joey's line from Pardon Me, as well as the Pop the Balloon dating show and the reasons, and the next line is a reference to the rapper Reason. Later on in the verse, he sends a shot at Pro Era with the lines, "Even better than the pros to some, this era's all trash. Oh, you's a vet, where your dog tags? You niggas cat, where's the dogs at? You should rest, where the morgue's at." Then he sends a shot at the West Coast with the lines, "Dot is only hot, rest of y'all just bench warm and clout chasing. I could do this without Jason." Dot is short for K-Dot, which is Kendrick Lamar's former rap name, and Jason is a reference to his father, Jadakiss. Then he wraps up the verse with a name flip for Daylyt and Rayvon, as well as commenting on the state of New York hip-hop with the lines, "Any given day I'll show light, even if the ray's down, and Tony was wrong, I'll bring SoCal a rain cloud, who else got something to say now? And yeah, the South had a run, the left has a moment, but as history will show, New York City owns this, all y'all do is clone us, you other niggas owe us, them fucking gimmicks bogus, it's time to really focus." The 19th was really a day for people to release tracks for some reason. Daylyt released the track WRD2MIMVA, or Word to My Mother. In typical Daylyt fashion, it's full of double entendres. There's a lot to break down, which shouldn't be surprising if you know his music or his battle raps at all. Daylyt tracks like this could get their own video breaking down everything, but I'm gonna go through it briefly. For starters, the beat for the song samples New York songs like Welcome to New York by Cameron from his third album, Come Home With Me. So just like the title as well as the videos, he's using New York beats, slang, and scenery to get at Joey. He disses Joey with a Disney-based double entendre with the lines, "Unique scar, think you can kill a king? The people is lying, Simba tell him, NY Cinderella, it's time to crash, nigga spaz, nigga Cinderella, you hung out with the glass slipper." Scar is the villain from Lion King and Simba was his nephew. Also, Joey's character on Power is named Unique, and at some point during the series winds up getting a scar on his face. The glass slipper line is a reference to Cinderella, another Disney title, and it's also a reference to Joey spending time with Diddy, as Diddy has been facing numerous allegations, including giving laced drinks to his party guests. He then goes on to mention Kendrick and Drake and position himself ahead of them, as well as Joey with the lines, Drake and Dot debating, I'm waiting, but ahead of them all, I'm a hurt homie like hospitals. I'm patient, mind disgusting, time to dust, and we ain't friends, so the bullets come dimes a dozen. Dime a Dozen is a reference to Dime a Dozen, who is, like Joey, also a Brooklyn rapper. If you were on YouTube around 2007, then you might remember him for putting out videos freestyling. At some point, he and Joey fell out, however, and the Daylyt bar appears to be a reference to that. Daylyt then ends his second verse with the lines, from finals to final destination, I'm death who follows. How did you get all of his clout? What did you kids do? Split with Donovan, kept the chain, play for you kids crew, sacrifice you big goof. If the world knew what knew about you, they'd jump off a bridge too. The finals to final destination line is a reference to the Joey Badass track he had recently released, as well as the movie series Final Destination, which in 2025 put out the 6th entry in the series. The bridge line was thought by some to be a reference to Capital Steez, but he didn't jump off a bridge, he jumped off the roof of a building. The line is actually a reference to Ab-Soul, who was with Joey at the Red Bull Cypher. It's a line that sounds hard-hitting, but leaving the song off with a cliffhanger just has people questioning what he means. It's also very reminiscent of the last line from Jay-Z on Takeover, where he alluded to doing something that he and Nas both know about. That turned out to be the affair the mother of Nas' daughter had with Jay. After that trifecta of diss tracks aimed at Joey, CJ Fly put out the track Stingray, also on the 19th, on which he fired back. On this track, CJ raps over 2 beats, the first one sounding very West Coast, just like how Daylyt did on his previous diss track. CJ responds to Ray's lines claiming he was on drugs and about the quality of the High U freestyle track with the lines, tried to say that I'm on drugs, you must be sauced like BBQs. You complained about the mix, I hope you love this CDQ. I could tell he's lactose cause this small fry don't see DQs. CDQ stands for compact disc quality and DQ is Dairy Queen, a fast food chain. He reaffirms his support of Joey and responds to Ray's lines about CJ being almost 40 years old with the lines, come at Joey, you'll get jumped like kangaroos. I don't care what set you claiming, if you cuz or you Pyru. You still fool since it's beef you want, well done, you getting chewed. Nigga said I'm pushing 40, we both turning 32. The line about coming at Joey and getting jumped like kangaroos is a reference to baby kangaroos, as they're called Joeys. Then on the second verse, the beat switches up. He makes another reference to a Brooklyn and LA rapper with the lines, I told you I'm a shark and you food. Know that Stingray. I could help you write your verses like Jay-Z did on Still Dre. Jay-Z is known for writing a few verses for artists like Dr. Dre, for example, and like I said, Jay is from Brooklyn while Dre is from LA County, Compton in particular. So Jay writing a verse for them would be like Jay doing it for Dre, according to CJ. He then aims at Daylyt for his antics with the lines, fam, I thought you was a G. Why you talking about young MA? I would expose you, but you've already did that. You took your dick out in public. They never pictured you'd flash public indecency. Now you showing your ass. Held a chopper with a pink shirt while you was throwing it back. Then you shot a video naked holding a shotty. The line about Young M.A. is a reference to a DJ Vlad interview in which Daylyt was trolling as he often would do, and when asked about Young M.A., he said that she was cute. The pink skirt is a reference to his song Choppers in Pink Skirts, in which Daylyt was again trolling and had a video in which he was wearing a shirt and holding a gun, which was essentially a parody of Young Thug.
I think she like one of the most attractivest females in the rap game. She looked better than Beyonce, Alicia Keys, all of them.
The shotgun line is about the song Ass Naked with a Shotgun. If you know Daylyt music, then you know these are actual songs of his. If you don't know, then I recommend you to check out some of his music. He has plenty of songs where he's trolling, but plenty more that make him one of the most lyrical rappers I've ever heard. As far as CJ Fly, I find this track to be a bit better than his High U freestyle track. That same day, Brooklyn rapper Kai Cash released his own response track, that being Nixon 6, which is a reference of course to the basketball team from New York, as once again the track was released during the NBA playoffs. The first verse features a sample from the song Little Ghetto Boy from Dr. Dre's solo debut album The Chronic, which in turn samples the song Little Ghetto Boy by Donny Hathaway. If you don't know the song Little Ghetto Boy from The Chronic, go check it out, it's one of the most underrated songs from that album. He starts the first verse going at Ray Vaughn and Reason with the lines, "Never needed reasoning, just needed someone eager for it. Simple ray of joy gon' make it feel a bit appeasing. Mr. Dot and wanna pregnant, all that riding you conceiving, something less than anything that ever came up from the east." Basically, they're writing Kendrick too hard, which is a common thread in the tracks from the East Coast. He then goes on to diss them for basically defending Kendrick so they can get attention with the lines, "I'm guessing dreams deferred, you trying to swing for a big homie that ain't never seen you serve, ain't never make it to your games, ain't pick you up when you was down, ain't lift your head until you smile when niggas bully you for hours." Later on in the verse, he makes a Trayvon Martin reference with the lines, "It's time to put the game on, stay warned, we could turn Ray Vaughn to Trayvon and go without conviction, niggas never been committed." Trayvon Martin is a 17-year-old black teen who was shot and killed in Florida by George Zimmerman back in 2012, which sparked immense outrage as George wound up being acquitted. He then ends the verse letting us know that it's just friendly competition with the lines, "It's just a warning, a little friendly kick. I got him looking like who is this nigga and how he find his way to us and shit that he ain't got no business in. This just me exercising penmanship." For the second verse, the beat switches up to a sample from the Snoop Dogg song Murder Was the Case from his debut album Doggy Style. He mentions that he still has love for the West Coast and he would even work with some artists with the lines, "A nigga say New York down way bad just gave me more of a reason. I do got love for the West, respect, I'll keep it a buck, I'm honest. Might go and get a hit from Jason Martin, little assist from Problem. Might link with Soul, go bar for bar and soak up game, I'm honored. I push through in a red rose, white ceiling, I might go JC on him." The JC On line is a reference to Jason Taylor, aka the West Coast rapper The Game. And like I mentioned earlier, Jason Martin used to go by the name Problem, so that's another reference to a West Coast artist. He then goes on to take aim at the current state of New York rap with the lines, "The bars is back, the waves and trends is deaded, we can't do drill forever. The radio need to show more respect, it's lyrical niggas that's better and don't get the recognition they deserve. It's time to get back to the basics for real or shit won't ever emerge." These lines are some of my favorites, as for years I've gotten tired of people propping up New York drill music and seemingly forgetting the roots of hip hop which started in New York. I haven't heard of Kai Cash before this, but he's easily made one of my favorite response tracks in this whole beef so far. Between the samples, his flow and wordplay, it's definitely up there. Yet again on May 19th, another diss track dropped. This one being My Town by Joey Badass featuring Loaded Lux. Throughout the track, Joey responds to Daylyt, Reason, Ray Vaughn, and Az Chike for their disses while Loaded Lux aimed at his fellow battle rapper Daylyt. Joey goes directly at both Daylyt and Ray Vaughn with the lines, "You talking like I can't see light. Yeah, okay. The question is it me v you or you v Ray? Either way, these L's getting passed out. Lights off. When I black out, swerving in the lane with me, better crash out. You niggas lightweight. I swear I ain't even maxed out. No matter what stage they put you on, you still assed out. Your thirst for attention is sad. Nothing you could say could take away that sus shit you said on Vlad. I would say I'ma get on your ass, but you might like that. I'm smoking all you niggas in the blunt. This the light pack." Whew. Once again, name flips of Daylyt and Ray Vaughn and the ass out and Vlad lines are references to antics Daylyt has done. So once again, Joey is calling out Daylyt for seeking attention. Joey calls out Kendrick once again with the lines, "I'm really the truth, got better off calling a truce. Better yet, get the general, I'm killing his troops." In this situation, Kendrick would be considered the general as he's the biggest artist from TDE, even though he's not on the label anymore. Then Joey has perhaps one of the funniest lines in this song as he makes fun of Az Chike's rap name with the lines, "Look, Ray Vaughn was sold last week. Now I'm hearing shit about some nigga named Ass Cheek." He then goes on to make a Kendrick reference again with the lines, "I'ma break him down till the atom, this split him. When I hit him with the finisher, eyes on the prize. Hand on my fire, don't make me pull it, sir. Better be wise, cause if it would occur, I'm dotting T's and cross your eyes like Whitaker." Pulitzer sounds like Pulitzer, as in the Pulitzer Prize that Kendrick won back in 2018 for his album Damn, which made him the first rapper to ever win the award. Then Joey ends his verse smoothly bringing in Lux with the lines, "Told y'all niggas I'm back. I know how you feel it now, and that was cute, making it seem like you predicted my bars when in reality you heard my freestyle since March. I'm calling you bluff. You want to see me cause you running from Lux." The freestyle he's referring to is the Red Bull Spiral freestyle that was released in May. According to those lines, the freestyle was recorded in March and Daylyt got word of what Joey said in it, so he was able to predict name flips. Loaded Lux calls out Daylyt for not battle rapping against him yet and also makes a reference to Daylight's backpack video with the lines, "Post a battle, you don't commit, but what I can do is put it on wax, you know it's lit. Hold up nigga, this bitch skateboarding and doing tricks, oh I'm a shoo-in. I was just at Jordan with the kick flips." My Town is easily one of my favorite tracks throughout the whole back and forth. Getting Loaded Lux on the track was a good move as Daylyt and Lux were supposed to have a rap battle, but Daylyt is ducking it, according to Lux. Also on the 19th, New York rapper Intel, who was the son of U-God from the Wu-Tang Clan, released a track himself, this one titled One Reason for TD East. Throughout the track, he takes aim at Reason for dissing New York and dissing Joey. The song samples I Don't F With You by Big Sean, as well as Hail Mary by Tupac, and the TD East in the title is a reference to Joey's line from his track The Finals. Also on the 19th, California rapper Travell Lynch released a track on Instagram titled Shiny Suit Theory, on which he takes aim at Joey and Tory Lanez for whatever reason. He has a line at Joey for not doing anything to Troy Ave after Troy mentioned Capital Steez on his diss track aimed at Joey. Then he goes on to diss Tory for dissing Drake and for the alleged Megan Thee Stallion shooting. Also, California rapper Eastside K-Boy released the track Whoopka on Instagram. The song samples the beat from the Nas song New York State of Mind from his Illmatic album. Lastly, for tracks released on the 19th, we have GoldenEye by Ray Vaughn. GoldenEye samples Back Down by 50 Cent, which is a Ja Rule diss, and on his album Get Rich or Die Tryin'. Throughout the song, Ray takes aim with plenty of Diddy references just like Daylyt had in his tracks towards Joey. Ray starts the first verse off referencing Joey's beef with Troy Ave from back in 2016. He then takes shots at Pro Era with the lines, "Look, CJ got no hit, Kirk got no hit, you ain't got no hits, so Pro Era don't exist. TD East, nigga ain't that about a bitch. You got a label full of artists every blog post skip." He then responds to Joey's line from the finals about Ray not having Kendrick's number with the lines, "A nigga made it out of Will, but my name ain't Jaden Smith. Thinking I ain't got his number, bitch, he authorized the hit." It's a good response, but makes me question if Kendrick truly gave the okay or if it's just a line. He then ends the verse with more Diddy lines. "Sus words always coming from your lips. If you're standing next to Diddy, then you shouldn't mention dick, cause if they ever show that footage, you gon' have to plead the fifth. I'm the nigga you should dread, I'm on your head, I'm Von Wick. Them gay lines is out of pocket, I ain't never been to Diddy house. Soraya gon' be shocked when all that footage out. Couldn't get a Grammy and said fuck it, nigga put me on that casting couch. That's the type of dick licking shit you should be rapping about." Then on the second verse, he continues to call Joey out for not repping New York before this with the lines, "Before the spice was Tekashi and where was you at? Troy Ave entered the chat, nigga, where was you at? You wasn't trying to save New York and put that shit in your back. It took a California nigga just to get you to rap." Back in 2018 and 2019, Tekashi was one of the biggest rappers in New York, and in 2022, Ice Spice became one of the biggest rappers in New York, and Joey hadn't put out much music in that time frame except for his 2022 album titled 2000, but it took Kendrick Lamar's 2024 success for Joey to put out a track. Then Ray continues on in the verse to have more Diddy lines. This track is probably one of the better ones that Ray has put out up till this point. However, a common criticism is that he has had too many lines about Diddy, and if you listen to the song, that's a pretty fair perspective. Some of the Diddy lines were funny and they're quite topical considering Diddy's court trial started in May 2025. However, all those lines that Ray had didn't seem to wind up really being true, as according to the whole court trial, Joey wasn't involved in any of that stuff that Diddy was doing. But still funny. Daylyt had his own response with the track Ayo. From the beginning, he makes it quite clear that it's a response to the New York rappers, like telling Jadakiss to tell his son to sit down somewhere. Remember, shortly before this, J1 released the track Bobby Mercer. Daylyt then goes in on Joey with more references to Joey spending time with Diddy with lines like, "Oh, you sweet. For instance, that freak you mentioned, you was in Diddy's studio taking beat submissions. Wanna play? Piggyback. Trust, you ain't really that tough. Pokemon lover, your favorite one was Jigglypuff." Jigglypuff is a Pokemon, of course, and Puff is another nickname of Diddy's. He also responds to Loaded Lux for dissing him on the previous track with Joey with the lines, "Body Lux in Times Square, go get a doctor, Manhattan top. I covered all of my tracks to get the play, right? Scientific fact, it take 10,000 Lux to equal Daylyt." Then he goes on to continue sending shots at Joey and Lux until there is a beat switch. In typical Daylyt fashion, he has plenty of bars to be deciphered, and I highly recommend giving it a listen yourself to really digest what he has to say to Joey. He ends the verse very viciously, however, as he mentions going to Joey's house where his pregnant girlfriend is and killing both her and the baby. Granted, it's just battle rap and shock value is a thing, but it's quite a chilling end to the track. Throughout this beef, Daylyt has an issue that people have mentioned many times online. That being that his beat selection is subpar. This track is a great example of that. Also on the 20th, Travell Lynch came back with another diss track, this one titled Freak York. It samples the song All the Critics in New York by Westside Connection from their debut album Bow Down. The artwork for the song features 4 men holding bottles of baby oil in shiny suits, which is likely a reference to Diddy and Joey. Throughout the track, he takes more shots at Joey for dissing the West Coast and sends shots at Kai Cash and Loaded Lux as well. Joey responded to Daylyt and Ray Vaughn with the track Crash Dummy. The song is produced by fellow Pro Era member Kirk Knight and samples Tupac's classic diss track Hit 'Em Up. Throughout the first verse, Joey responds to the Diddy accusations with the lines, "What's the current situation? Niggas just clickbaiting, how predictable, this the angle I was anticipating, and thank you for making it clear to me that Dot scared, but yeah I was at the party, but I also saw Top there." Top of course is Top Dog, the founder of TDE. He then goes on to continue claiming that Top put him up to beefing with Ray Vaughn in order to get his name out there, and then once again alludes to wanting to go at Kendrick and not the rest of TDE. Towards the end of the first verse, Joey makes a reference to his beef with fellow Brooklyn rapper Troy Ave with the lines, "I won't hesitate, but these niggas still won't drop like Detox. Matter of fact, I think they forgot the last time I destroyed an average rapper who tried to take a cheap shot." I covered the beef between those two before, so check that out after this to hear how their beef went. On the chorus, Joey has the lines, "Scared money don't make no money, I can never go broke, steady take your money, ayy I'm laughing at you niggas but ain't shit funny, you ain't a crash out nigga, you a crash dummy." That's a reference to the Meek Mill track I'm a Boss, as well as a reference to Ray Vaughn who called himself a crash out. Here Joey is instead calling him a crash test dummy. In the second verse, Joey makes another reference to Kendrick with the lines, "Joey just spun again, how could it be? It's like he knew it was coming, the future, what he foresee. Have you ever thought TDE was working for me?" That is a spin on Kendrick's line from 616 in LA, one of Kendrick's diss tracks aimed at Drake. Then he responds to Daylyt's lines from the end of Ayo with the lines, "How the fuck am I your OG? You're older than me. This ain't a fair fight, it's a fucking slaughter. Why you keep bringing up pregnant women? Don't you got a daughter?" Then on the third verse, Joey responds to the mentions of his girlfriend with the lines, "Keep my wife's name out your mouth before you get Chris rocked. We ain't ducking smoke, that's out, bitch. This is hip hop. All I need is a microphone and a disc jock, and I'ma make this shit pop. Let my tape rock till my tape pop. I do this shit for Big Pop and Pop Smoke. How many more New York niggas gotta die on y'all coast?" Of course, Biggie and Pop Smoke are 2 rappers from Brooklyn that got killed when they were in California. On the outro, Joey makes mention of a good dog gone too soon and says rest in peace, which is again a reference to Ray Vaughn and TDE, as again, the TD stands for Top Dog. Once again, another good track from Joey. It's funny how one of the reasons I'm not a big fan of Hit 'Em Up is because of the beat, but the way they sampled it on this song I do like. YouTuber Eric the Young God released a video at this time in which he did a freestyle aimed at Ray Vaughn and then spoke about the beef. Chapo came back with another track of his own titled Martial Law. Throughout the track he raps over 3 different beats and he takes aim at Joey for taking time off of rapping to do movies. Then he goes on to diss Absol, Big Sean, and Reason. Daylyt then came back again later that day with the track I Can't Hold You Thissa, which is again aimed at Joey. The song samples Careless Whisper by George Michael. This song got a pretty mixed reception. A lot of people didn't seem to like it too much, but some did say that the beat was one of the best ones that Daylyt has used out of all of his tracks. Throughout the track he makes more references to Kendrick and TDE and yet another Diddy reference as well. Unlike tracks like Ayo, this track was much less lyrically dense. Daylyt wound up deleting this track however, whether due to the public perception or just a change of heart. At the same time, Daylyt also released the track Word is Bond. Unlike the previous tracks, this one was actually not a diss track and instead was a swing in the opposite direction, as the song comes across as a dedication to Capital Steez. He starts the first verse off with the lines, "See that bar about the bridge? It wasn't for Steez, it was for soul." That was likely to clear up the misconceptions that people had about the Word to Mother track where Daylyt had mentioned someone jumping off a bridge. He then goes on to mention Joey's second studio album with the lines, "This is bigger than rap. Some deaths came from the things we was rhyming. It was scary stuff. Remember the day that Joe made America? Was blocked from all the algorithms? Government scaring us? They knew they couldn't take me out, so they just shadow banned everything." Joey's album All American Badass was released in 2017, and apparently the album was removed from Apple Music for some reason, which Daylyt here is saying it's censorship by the government due to the content of the album. In the second verse, he then goes on to speak more about Capital Steez. Many saw this as a track where Daylyt is bowing out of the beef, given its much more somber and peaceful tone. Ironically enough, this is probably one of my favorite tracks of the whole bunch, despite it not really being a diss track. West Coast rapper Hitta J3 also released a track of his own in the midst of this beef titled The Last Supper. He's well known for featuring on the title track of Kendrick's album GNX. On the track, there are snippets from the Joe Budden podcast in which they were talking about his feature on GNX. Hitta raps over the beat from Kendrick's song Rigor Mortis from his debut album Section 80. Then the beat switches up to the Biggie song What's Beef from his album Life After Death. Throughout the track, Hitta reps the West Coast and he makes references to the Joe Budden podcast, specifically Ice, who is one of the co-hosts, for speaking about his feature on GNX. This isn't aimed at Joey specifically, but since he does take aim at someone from the East Coast, I figured it might as well get a mention. Jordan King came with another track around this time, this one titled Practice Makes Progress, which was labeled on YouTube as a response to Daylyt, Ray Vaughn, and Reason. Travell Lynch released another diss track, this one titled Back Fades, and again it's aimed at Joey. Also, California rapper Daylyt released a track aimed at Rome Home entitled Rome on Foreign Ground, which is a response to Rome's track Eye to Eye, which was aimed at Reason. Can you believe all these diss tracks are just from the 19th and the 20th? Eastside K-Boy released another track, this one titled Grand Slam, aimed at Joey, Kai Cash, Loaded Lux, and CJ Fly. The title is a reference to the home run in baseball, and the song samples Cream by the Wu-Tang Clan. Another decent track from one of the lesser known rappers that decided to put out a song. New York rapper Classic Poet released the track Against All Odds 25, which is a reference to the classic Tupac track Against All Odds. Also on the 20th, New York rapper Grizzy Hendrix released the track Daylyt Diss, in parentheses, Joey Tag Me In, which as you can tell by the title is a response to Daylyt and the West Coast. Kai came back with a part 2 to his previous diss, this one aimed at King Los and Kai Cash. Prince Angelus came back with a diss track titled Unknown Shooter, which samples Cream by Wu-Tang Clan and is aimed at Joey. Also, Ohio rapper Prince Eder released the track Slid West aimed at Daylyt. To wrap up May 20th, California rapper Danny Myers released the track LA State of Mind aimed at Joey Badass, and it samples the beat from New York State of Mind from Nas's debut album Illmatic. Then the beat switches to New York from the Dog Pound and he starts to take aim at Loaded Lux. One thing I will say is that I like how a lot of these rappers used references to New York or California slang and beats, like Daylyt titling a lot of his tracks after typical New York phrases. Some more diss tracks were put out the very next day, May 21st. Eastside K-Boy came back with yet another track, this one titled The Dodger Flow, which is aimed at Joey and other New York rappers. The song samples Shook One's Part 2 by Mobb Deep. Another track that was released that day is Put Me In Coach by No Shoe, on which he takes aim at rappers from both sides. California rapper Saint LA released the track Two Distant Strangers aimed at Joey Badass and Kai Cash. New York rapper Mark Saunders released the track Pro Evolution aimed at Reason, Daylyt, Ray Vaughn, and AZ Chike. Also on the 21st, Hitta J3 came with another track, this one titled Headshot. He raps using the beat from the Nas song Got Yourself a Gun from his Stillmatic album. Then the beat switches up to Whoa by Black Rob from his debut album Life Story. Then for the last beat, he uses Real Motherfucking G's by Eazy-E from his second EP, It's On 187 Killer. Pro Era member Nick Caution joined in with his own track titled Die Another Day. On the song, he samples the 50 Cent song Patiently Waiting featuring Eminem from the Get Rich or Die Tryin' album. He starts the first verse off with the lines, "Yeah, whole era, that was cute bro, you 32, how your whole era isn't through. Turn his YouTube off, Ray to the Vaughn, you sound jealous." Whole Era was one of the diss tracks by Ray Vaughn, and this track is aimed primarily at him. Later in the track, he goes on to take aim at Ray Vaughn for his alleged age with the lines, "Born in 1993, trying to scrub the Wikipedia, say you 28, Top didn't want to market 32-year-old breakout rapper on social media." Some people have listed Ray Vaughn as being born in 1993, while others say 1996 for whatever reason. It's a common phrase that hip-hop is a young man's game, so the older you are, the harder it is to break into the rap industry. The rapper Chapo came back with another diss track as well, this one titled Heart Check. This one is aimed at Ab-Soul and he samples Shook One's Part 2. Once again, I like the sampling of these classic hip-hop tracks. Jordan King came back with another diss track as well, this one titled Nothing Personal, aimed at the West Coast. Also on the 21st, New York rapper Nico Brim released the track La Cosa Nostra in response to the tracks from the West Coast. That same day, Daylyt released the track End Credits, which samples the Nas songs New York State of Mind and Small World. Throughout the song, Daylyt has plenty of wordplay as usual, but unlike the previous tracks, this is no diss really. Many people consider this Daylyt bowing out of the beef. He mentions Joey and other rappers that entered the fray with the lines, "I thank you, Joey, grateful for this space you created. AZ, King, Ray, Coyotes, Lip Poppy, K-Boy, On Hitter, we did that, Jag, we did that." He then mentions Joey again with the lines, "The ruler's back, oh you the man Joey, today I crown you the king of New York for taking that stand. Joey, you really took the fade over all of us, a brave man." Given this track and the Word is Bond track, it would seem pretty clear that Daylyt seemed to be out of the back and forth. Daylyt stopped with the tracks here, but a few other people that had jumped into the beef continued to release tracks. Brooklyn rapper Mr. Motherfucking X Squire released the track No Jumpin', aimed at Joey, Reason, Ray Vaughn, and Daylyt. He raps using the beat from the Red Bull Spiral freestyle that Sean, Soul, and Joey were on, and then the beat switches to Biggie's Going Back to Cali from his Life After Death album. He goes off on this track for sure, but the cover art for the song is what really does it. It's a reference to the original back cover for Tupac's 7 Day Theory, which featured Biggie, Diddy, and Dr. Dre. California rapper Jag released the track Joe Dirt aimed at Joey as well. Also on the 21st, K-Stac released the track A-Town aimed at both East and West Coast rappers like Joey, Ray Vaughn, and more. Pro Era member Desi Hines jumped into the situation with a track of his own titled 3 Switches, on which he raps over 3 different beats and responds to the West Coast. Also on the 21st, Brad Spliff released the track Vlad TV, which was aimed at Ray Vaughn and Reason. Then on May 22nd, Pro Era member Aaron Rose released the track Stockholm Syndrome, which is aimed at Ray Vaughn, and he uses the beat from the Kanye West song So Appalled. Ohio rapper Will Cherry released the track Midwest Got Something to Say, on which he represents for the Midwest. Also on the 22nd, Eastside K-Boy came back with the track 61 Points, which was a response to Nico Brim. Texas rapper Mikio released the track 20 Foot Caddy, on which he uses the beat from the Jadakiss song Put Your Hands Up, and he disses Jada's son J1. Kai came back with another track, this one titled Nick at Night, which is aimed at Nick Caution and CJ Fly. J1 came with another track, this one titled Ping Him In. Also on the 22nd, Ben Riley and Suave released the track Spinners, which samples the 3 6 Mafia track Riding Spinners, and they take aim at Reason. Then on the 23rd, YG and Shoreline Mafia released the single Hollywood. On that track, YG has the lines, "All the pretty hoes gonna play this, Joey Badass gonna hate this." That of course is a reference to all the diss tracks that have been going back and forth between Joey and the West Coast. New York rapper Kid Chris released the track 11 Godson, which is aimed at Reason. Also on the 23rd, Reason released the track Just a Little Cardio, which is yet another response to the situation. On the track, he has the lines, "Last year, the Giants threw some bloody knuckles brawling. This time it's less touchy, just a little friendly sparring. You know the saying, in the way that iron sharpens, I was ready with a true 24 hours. My response is caught a jab, threw a jab. Mine a little harder, drew that line and waited patiently, but nobody would cross it." Those lines reference the Kendrick Lamar and Drake beef from the previous year and how their beef was more about genuine dislike, while the beef between Joey and the West Coast is more of a competition. Later on in his verse, he takes a shot at the lesser known rappers who released tracks aimed at him with the lines, "Watch it when you speaking up. I tried to Google niggas' names, they ain't even got Wikipedias. It was kinda odd, but it just showed we don't even up." Rome Holman must not have taken too kindly to that, because on May 25th, he released the track Purpose, which is a reference to Reason, as they're synonyms. Throughout the track, he disses Reason for his line about other rappers not having a Wikipedia page and pretty much being not as well known as he is. My favorite rhyme scheme in this song is when Rome uses song titles from Kendrick Lamar's Damn album. He has the lines, "No West Coast flow till Kenny made it safe. Damn, nigga, you got a little crush or something? If they say you feeling humble, you gonna blush or something? We know it ain't loyalty, is it lust or something? Y'all sharing DNA, is y'all blood or something?" Feel, lust, humble, blood, loyalty, and DNA are all tracks from the album. Between the beat and the bars that Rome spit throughout the track, it's easily another one of my favorites from the whole back and forth. Then on May 27th, Ab-Soul jumped into the fray with a track of his own which seems to be untitled and was released on Instagram. Throughout the track, he talks about meeting Pro Era and his relationship with Capital Steez and Joey Badass. He also mentions rappers like Daylyt and Ray Vaughn in reference to the back and forth and goes on to tell the other rappers that decided to jump in to be careful. Similar to Word is Bond, it's not really a diss track at all, but it is another good track overall. On the 27th, Kevin Ali came back with another track, this one titled The Era of Prose, which of course is a reference to Pro Era. Also, if you look at the title, prose sounds like prose, which is a term which is used for language either written or spoken, so that's a little double entendre right there. Whether it was intentional or not, however, I'm not sure. Then on the 30th, Kevin Ali came back again with the track My City, which appears to be based on Joey's My Town song. He starts his verse off with the lines, "Joe Vaughn want beef, but these days bison is on the menu," which clears up any misconception there might have been about who the song is aimed at. Then he ends the verse with lines talking about Joey sending shots at Kendrick and Cole in order to try to sell more records. Ironically enough, this is something that some would claim a lot of the lesser known rappers are doing themselves by jumping into the beef when they weren't even mentioned to begin with. Then on June 2nd, Kevin Ali came with yet another track aimed at Joey. This one titled Joey Deadass, which of course is a play on his name. He starts the verse off singing and then changes to rapping and sends several shots at Joey throughout the song. On July 18th, Joey premiered the track ABK, which stands for Anybody Killer. Throughout the track, he makes multiple references to the whole beef. On the first verse, he has the lines, "I ain't running from no smoke, bitch, I'm right here, I'm taking back fades since niggas don't wanna fight fair, gotta watch my back, yeah, make sure the coast's clear, can't get a fair one, I gotta be the one feared." On the second verse, he makes a reference to how he took aim at Kendrick, but other people responded instead with the lines, "They thought I was light work, so they sent the little mans to kill me, thought it might work, all 2025, I hit him where it might hurt, gave you niggas more bars, they tried to send the G League niggas after the All-Star." In the third verse, he makes a reference to TD East with the lines, "The sun still rises in the east, I know they hating it, new God flow, every verse like a sacred script, don't believe in TD East and you an atheist, the rap oracle one line could make the matrix glitch." Also in July, Joey announced that his album, Lonely at the Top, would be released on August 1st. The album wound up getting pushed back to the 29th, however. On the track Super Flea featuring Bree Steves, which is my favorite song on the album, Joey appears to do a victory lap of sorts. He starts the first verse off with the lines, "I can't lose, put me against whole crews, I style on niggas for dolo, pulling up from the logo, hitting nothing but the bottom of the net." Lines like that and others appear throughout the song, which would of course be references to the beef he was in earlier that year. I'm sure there's at least a few more songs by lesser known rappers that were released, but I've mentioned pretty much every song that I've heard of, which is over 100. When I say I've heard, I do mean heard. Like, I listened to every single song that I found. At first, I was considering just, mentioning the ones by those main few rappers with the bigger names, but I wanted to go a little bit more in depth with it. Now, I will say, you might not want to listen to all these songs like I did, but there are playlists on YouTube, including one that I made also that has as many songs as I could find scouring the internet. So make sure you give that a look as well. Since then, the beef has pretty much calmed down. Compared to the major rap beef of 2024 between Kendrick and Drake and the other artists who got involved, this one was much more friendly in tone and also had a lot more tracks going back and forth, ironically enough. To me, this whole situation was something pretty new and refreshing in hip hop. A bunch of rappers representing their areas and coming with bars rather than violence. Yes, several of the lesser known rappers were most likely dropping songs in order to get their name out there, but that's just how it goes sometimes. If they have good music, it should be heard. That's just what it is. Joey started things off with a simple line and it turned into months of content for hip hop media and listeners. Now I'm going to give y'all my top 5 songs from all these ones that I mentioned. The first 2 that come to mind are My Town and Crash Dummy by Joey Badass. Featuring Lux on My Town was a nice touch and the songs were good comebacks to Daylyt, Rayvon, and the others. Next up is Purpose by Rome Holman. I never heard of him before this whole situation honestly, but that song above any other, I have honestly listened to the most. Golden Eye by Rayvon is up there as well. The beat from 50 Cent's track Back Down is hard by itself and Ray did his thing on there even though he did have a lot of Diddy talk. It was pretty funny. Last but not least, we have Nixon 6 by Kai Cash. Out of all the songs released by the lesser known rappers, this was one of the ones that seemed to get the most attention, and for good reason, no pun intended. With all the tracks that got released, I can easily make this a top 10 list. But that's it for now. I'd like to know your thoughts on the beef and your favorite tracks. Did you find any new rappers because of it? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, and of course, click the button to subscribe to the channel, and check out the links in the description box below to follow on other platforms and find a link to the Discord server, the Patreon page, and more. I also want to give a shout out to all the rappers out there that participated in this monumentous occasion and all the rap journalists out there that covered it. I loved seeing hip hop return to form. It is amazing. It is beautiful to see. I love this with a passion. That's why I do this. Thank you for watching.